I'm Mark from Founders&Tips, and today we are talking with Frode Nordseth, CEO at Schibsted Spain, a group that operates websites like Vibbo, Fotocasa, coches.net, infojobs.net, Milanuncios, and others. Hello.
Hello.
Thank
Nice
you
to meet you.
Thank you for attending us. Could you please begin explain a little bit your professional career, how you arrived as a CEO at Schibsted Spain?
Well, I have a slightly abnormal background because my background I'm from the Navy. So I was a naval officer for 11 years, including my training and my education. Before I arrived in Schibsted, soon 19 years ago, starting as the controller for the IT section of the biggest newspaper in Schibsted. And then later on, already in 1999, I started working with online marketplaces in Schibsted and was one of the first to join the marketplace Finn in Norway, where I worked 10 years. And then I was a short period into as COO of Schibsted Norway, dealing with printing plants and very strange things compared to digital, before I came back to the digital world again in Schibsted and worked what we call as an asset owner for some of our assets in Spain, Italy, Austria, and in the Far East. Before I took the role as CEO of Schibsted Spain when we took over 3 years ago.
Okay. It's a curiosity. You tell me you come from the Navy. And I see that some tradition in the United States or Israel that a lot of people coming from the Navy are moving to business position. What's the learnings you can take from the Navy as into business?
Well, first of all,
at least in more personal way. It's
yeah.
First time I find someone that coming from the Navy in a CEO position. Would like to know a little bit more.
First of all, it's I did my training in the Navy, and my jobs in the Navy was logistics, finance, and administration, which is part of it is very similar to what you do in a civilian company. But of course, being on a boat, on a fighting ship, is very different than being in a company. But one of the things at least I learned very quickly is to take responsibility. As a 19-year-old officer with 10, 15 people reporting to you who you have to work with, teaches you very quickly to take responsibility, but also to work with people from different backgrounds. In the Norwegian armed forces, we still have conscription, which involves working with people who is not extremely highly motivated for their job and just want to pass through the year as quick as possible with as little effort as possible. So working with people from all different kinds of backgrounds and motivation was an extremely valuable experience. And also I worked internationally in the Navy, in a NATO posting in the UK, and also I were in Yugoslavia for 9 months, which was extremely challenging and gave a valuable experience.
Yugoslavia war?
Yes. When NATO took over in December 95, I think it was. I was there very early on, working in the finance operation for NATO.
Hard experience before going to business. Coming back to business, at Schibsted, what do you do better than your competitors, or what's the main strength you have as a company?
Well, historically, we come from a company which has had very, very strong local presence and very strong entrepreneurial spirit. So historically in Schibsted, the head of the operations have had a very big degree of autonomy. I could work independent of the others. This gave us speed in the execution, and also gave us a very good ability to adapt to local circumstances and local environment and conditions.
Okay. Do you think speed in digital business, it's every time more important, or it's evolving to be more critical? Because every time we are talking more about lean startups and how to pivotate and all these kind of things that at the end it's change quickly. How you are managing the speed in an organization that every time it's getting bigger, I think it's more complex to apply speed.
This is a very difficult thing, and that's why historically we have been operating very independent in the local geographical areas and in the companies of Schibsted. And what we see is that actually now, being as big as this and having this much legacy, what previously gave us an advantage in speed now is becoming our Achilles heel, because we are not able to globally scale new things we are developing fast enough. Okay. So we have decided to change the way we are working, to do more globally when it comes to product and tech, to be able to scale faster and then to standardize more, because to a certain degree, the local adaptations, I think, is overrated. You need a certain amount of local adaptation because no market is the same. But the foundations for what we're doing is probably 80% the same. Okay. Then to have operations in 30 countries working on 80% the same is extremely inefficient and makes it difficult to incorporate new global components. So this is why we're going towards more of a centralized product and tech organization in the core, like where the 80% are similar. Okay. And then keep the local flexibility on top where it needs to be different based on different markets.
Then there's a conflict between the local approach to the market against a view to be more global. That's the main challenge right now.
That's what
I'm understanding.
Yes, because historically being very local and having strong execution locally gave you speed, but it gives you speed up to a certain point. And now we are past that point. So now to regain the speed, we need to be more global in our components.
And now if you are beginning a new business or a new idea of classified or whatever, you will begin as from a point of view of global, or you will begin again as a local, and once it gets bigger, you get this approach to get it more global through all the branches?
No, and I think we will still do testing and putting up MVPs local. But all the MVPs we are building and all the products we are building now will take into account that they should be ready for global scale. Okay. So it's like first you need to nail it in one place and figure out if it works before we can scale it to several countries.
Okay. Schibsted, it's very focused on classified. How you describe the market of classified in the last years? How is evolving? You have a great view of the evolution of that market. What's your main concerns, opinions? How is evolving?
No, I think it's evolving among two axes. Still, scale is extremely important. And being big and having a lot of users and a lot of content is extremely important. At the same time, there's something conflicting that, which is also getting more and more and more important, and that's the presence of niche and how important the different niches are. So if you look at InfoJobs, for instance, InfoJobs covers everything from blue collar to white collar to experts to senior executives.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the market has room for niche players
Mm-hmm.
in each one of these ones. That means that InfoJobs needs to be the best in each of these niches as well to defend its position.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one thing is that everything we do and the development in our business is going faster and faster. So the need for speed is extremely more present, as well as the need to understand the different niches and be competitive in each niche.
Mm-hmm.
That in total creates a complete marketplace.
This is quite difficult to do it. How you make this approach in the case of InfoJobs, that right now in Spain it's appearing a lot of competitors with a lot of focus on a lot in niches, as you commented. How you make this approach on the execution?
No, I think one of the things that is extremely important is to have a clear plan on what you want to do.
Okay.
To have a clear plan in all areas, in all these niches. Mm-hmm. But also be willing to adjust the plans. So plans are useless and planning is everything. Mm-hmm. So you need to be able to adapt and be agile in your approach to how you develop things. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have a plan in the first place, you will be going all over the place. Secondly, it's all about people. So having the right people with the right mindset who are extremely good at what they're doing and have a deep expertise in their domain, as well as being extremely good at working across and working with other people who are extremely good at their domain, and then create an environment where 1 + 1 gets bigger than 2. Mm-hmm. That's the real challenge. So it's all about having the right people in place. And I think if you look at InfoJobs, it's a very good example of an organization who has managed to do that, to have deep expertise in many domains who are working well together. And InfoJobs is probably, a lot of people our age think about InfoJobs as a website. But if you look at InfoJobs now, 75% of the traffic of InfoJobs is mobile. InfoJobs probably have the highest penetration of any job board in the world when it comes to app penetration. Mm-hmm. So close to 50% of the traffic of InfoJobs are on apps, okay, which is extremely high. So they have managed this transformation. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, the competition is getting tougher for sure. But at the same time, InfoJobs are developing with a higher speed and a better quality, both for users and customers, than ever. Mm-hmm. And that's our only response, to be faster and even better in what we're doing in all the different niches, but bearing in mind that every niche in total needs to create a seamless marketplace.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about people and getting the best people working on each project, and this connects me a lot with the values and the mission of the company. How you are making this people company fit in terms of value and knowledge that it's bringing to the company? Do you find do you apply some process to adjust this to be sure that you're applying this value in the recruitment process? How is the talent acquisition and retention policy?
I think this is the most difficult part of our business. You can say that technical changes are happening very, very quick. The environment is changing very quick. Competitors come up very quick. But in the end, the hardest job we are facing now is to recruit the right talent, develop the talent we have, and to make a coherent company culture where everybody pulls together, even though we are domain experts in different areas. Mm-hmm. That's why we've been working on our values in the company. Like we try to be a very value-driven company. This is difficult because we're a big company. We're like more than 750 people. Mm-hmm. To get 750 people to pull together under the same values is a really big challenge. Mm-hmm. As well as fighting all the fires you have to fight, developing the market the way you have to develop, and being focused in your own domain to make sure that that domain develops. I think that's the biggest challenge we have as leaders in this company, is to make all this fit into building a company culture which is value-driven, performance-driven, and people-driven, and at the same time are agile. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jump to another issue. We talk about, in the case of InfoJobs, the importance of the mobile. How many people are coming through InfoJobs from mobile devices and apps, and this is something that I get the feeling that is disrupting a little bit the classified market in the last years. All the movements to apps and how many apps are appearing that tries to offer a different experience in the classify section. And this is one part of the question, and the other, it's I get also the feeling that the classify, it's going a little bit more to peer-to-peer e-commerce. And I would like, if it's, I'm not sure if it's related items, but I would like if you can give me your point of view.
Yeah, it's true, because the mobile gives you completely different possibilities in how you approach the market. And I think part of this niche, this pull towards niche players is driven by mobile. And it's and then when you develop for multi-platforms, it's very easy to be stuck in your legacy and not being able to move quick enough when it comes to mobile solutions. Mm-hmm. That's something we see in all our operations, that it's hard to convert a web operation towards a fully 100% mobile-orientated solution. That's painful. And of course, those companies who just bysteps this web legacy and go straight into mobile has an advantage in their speed and their execution adapted to the mobile screen, because it's a different experience and people use the mobiles different. Mm-hmm. So that's true. At the same time, the mobile, the push towards mobile open up new possibilities, and that's an advantage as well. And you just have to see the possibilities and be able to grab them. So for us, it's much more of an opportunity than a threat.
Mm-hmm. You make a shift from segunda mano to Vibbo.
Yes.
And was a little bit what you were talking about, from a website to a more app approach. Or I get this feeling that was more a movement to be more mobile in the second-hand market. That was correct, or was the intention? Could you explain more a little bit this transition?
No, first of all, it's an extremely difficult transition, and I don't think we have nailed it yet. I think we're getting closer to nailing it, but we haven't nailed it yet. But it's true that the transition there is to take a very old website and convert it into a mobile experience, which is painful and difficult, but it's needed to go through. And that's the advantage of being Schibsted. We have a long-term view on this. So we are able to break things that seems to be working today, to be able to stop up and make it work better in the future. And that's what we're trying to achieve with Vibbo. Break things that was working reasonably well to be able to meet the future, which is going to be very different than the past.
I suppose it was a hard decision to make that transition.
It is a tough decision, and it's even tougher to execute on it. And I don't think we really gotten the value out of it yet, but the value will come for sure.
Mm-hmm. And what was the more difficult part of this transition? What was the more challenging part on this transition until now?
The most, when you're breaking up and making these radical changes, the most difficult thing is to keep your current users happy while you're moving the product dramatically in another direction to try to capture the new ones. That's the most difficult thing. And to get that balance right is extremely difficult.
And right now, from a more general perspective, what's the main focus at Schibsted Spain? What's the main challenge for the next years?
No, it's still like we are in the middle of the mobile transition, but it's easy to be too focused on this as well. We have a significant amount of users who like the desktop, and we need to make sure that we have good products for them as well. But it's basically the most important things for us is to look at the user journey. What are your pain points when you are looking for a job, when you're buying a car, when you're selling a car, buying a house, selling a house, or renting a house, or buying and selling small items? What's the pain points we need to help you with getting rid of? And that's our main focus, to make the transactions easier and safer for both the users and the customers.
And any final advice for entrepreneurs or digital business that are listening this interview?
I think one of the things that many people do as a first mistake when they start up is to overestimate the size of their market they're going for. Be aware if you're going for a niche or if you're going for a big general market. If you're going for a niche, you need to figure out your business model and how your user story is going to be, and what you need to do to capture enough users and customers to make it a good business. And I think people have a tendency to look at themselves and what they like instead of capturing enough data from enough user base to actually deliver a product that solves a problem for enough users.
Okay. Thank you very much, Frode, for getting this conversation with us and sharing your knowledge from this privileged position as a CEO of Schibsted, and good luck at Schibsted Spain or the future positions you have on the company.
And thank you very much, and very good luck with you for your blog as well. Really interesting talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.